The Super Eagles of Nigeria have lost only twice in 19 games versus the Cheetahs of Benin. They've drawn 3 times and won 14 times, and they hope to make it 15 when they clash against the Cheetahs, formerly the Squirrels of Benin Republic, at the Nest of Champions in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, South Nigeria. Welcome to my channel this wonderful day. My name is AY Sugar. Okay, quickly, let's get straight up into it. I'm going to be looking at the arrival of the team and the fact that they've settled in and their first training. I'll bring that clip, how they fared in today's training. And team news, also preview the game ahead of a clash on Tuesday. The Benin national team also have settled in, and well, nothing so much because yes, they've had their own training as well, but I think they just try to keep it very quiet. They don't want, they don't want us to know what they're doing, which to me is just normal, plan by Genetro's side to just keep it cool. And knowing him over the years, that's the kind of manager he is. He doesn't like to make noise about it. He respects his opponents. And after the game, if he wins, it will come out. If he loses, it will also come out. Well, we'll just look at how they are also preparing and also bring team news from the camp of the Cheetahs of Benin on this lovely day. So quickly, we'll go for this short break. We'll be right back. We'll watch the training of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and we'll be back to look at their arrival and also look at the preview ahead of the game and the team news coming from the camps of both sides. I'll be right back.
Hola, Tule.
I'm telling you, one by one, make it there at one. I will start this. Okay, left side, left way. Left. Stay focused, 8 ball! 30 seconds! Stay focused. Ah! Go, okay. Good ball. Good ball. Okay. Well done! Again.
All right, thank you so much for staying tuned right here. So Nigeria's delegation to Friday's 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying match against Lesotho in the South African city of Polokwane safely returned to the country earlier on Sunday morning, the 12th of October 2025, landing at the Obong Victor Atta International Airport at 8:05 a.m. A cracked pilot windscreen forced the chartered Value Jet airline aircraft conveying the team from Polokwane to return to the Luanda's airport to return to the Luanda airport 25 minutes after takeoff following a refueling stop in the Angola capital city on Saturday afternoon. However, swift action by ValueJet and the federal government of Nigeria enabled another ValueJet airline aircraft to take off from Lagos and pick the team in Luanda. The airplane flew for 2 hours and 20 minutes from Luanda before landing in Uyo. Players and officials have settled into the 4 points by Sheraton Hotel in Benin, and team sources confirmed that there will be a training, of course, which really happened and you just watched a couple of minutes ago. So Group C leaders, Cheetahs of Benin Republic, who are Nigeria's opponents in Tuesday's showdown, arrived in Uyo on Saturday afternoon and are lodged at the Ibom Icon and Golf Resort. The team trained at the practice pitch of the Godswill Akpabio Stadium on Sunday morning. On Monday, the Cheetahs will have their official training at the match pitch of the Godswill Akpabio Stadium from 5 p.m. while the Super Eagles take their turn at 6:15 p.m. Tuesday's big battle between the two of the three teams left in contention for Group C's lone automatic ticket to the 2026 FIFA World Cup Finals in North America will kick off at 5 p.m. And simultaneously, the clash between South Africa and Rwanda, which is also of importance to the final outcome of Group C, will commence in Nel Spirit at the same time. Well, so basically the updates from the two camps, like I said earlier, and both of them have settled in and they've both had their first trainings ahead of the clash. Well, let's quickly go straight up to, the preview, breakdown of what has happened between these two teams. When I started, I gave you a quick, brief of the head-to-head. And let's quickly look at it again. And it started a long time ago. Nigeria and Benin share a border. In fact, they are very close. So it's supposed to be a rivalry, of course. You want to talk about, you want to say something like a derby between Nigeria and Benin. Of course, you can say Ghana, but that's a rivalry because we're a bit distance from Ghana. But you can always walk into Benin and walk back into Nigeria. That's how close both countries are. Let's look at the head-to-head again as I bring it up. So it all started in 1977, February the 14th, Valentine's Day. That year, it was an international friendly. Nigeria beat Benin 7-0. Then we had another one in 1978, and this time it was another friendly match, and it ended another 7-0 in favor of Nigeria. Then, of course, in 1978, later on, 3 days after Nigeria versus Benin, again, it was 2-0 in favor of Nigeria. We had another one, which was away from home, an international friendly, ended 1-1 draw in 1979. We had another one, 28th of October, 1979. In fact, that one that happened in 1979, the first draw, was on the same day of October 1979. So that is, if you want to say, on the same day, we're going to have this clash again. But this time in 2025, what a way. Then let's go back. So we have another international friendly. So the first 6 games Nigeria played against Benin were international friendly matches, and Nigeria won and drawn just one. Won about 6 of them or 5 of them, and just had a draw in 1979, 14th of October. Then we had 28th of October, Nigeria won 1-0 in a friendly match. 4th of November, 1979, 5-0 against Benin. That's in November. 1st of February 1987, again, Nigeria clashed with them. It was a 1-0 draw. It was a West African Nations Cup game. Then in 1990, 30th of September, Benin versus Nigeria. Nigeria won away from home 0-1. Okay, no, Nigeria won it. So it was a group stage of the Cup of Nations, and Nigeria won 1-0. 1991, 27th of April, Nigeria beat Benin 3-0. Another Cup of Nations game. Then we had another one in 2004. I remember that one very well, where John Utaka, got one of the goals, and Nigeria defeated Benin 2-1. Then in 2008, we clashed again, 2-0 in favor of the Super Eagles. 2010, we clashed again, 16th of January, 1-0 in favor of the Super Eagles. So our first loss to Benin was in an African Nations Championship tournament, and that was in 2017. That was 13th of August 2017. Nigeria lost 1-0. Then we came back, of course, to beat them in the return leg fixture, 2-0. Then again, in 2019, we played in the Nations Cup. Nigeria defeated Benin 2-1. Then again in the Cup of Nations, Nigeria won in 2021 against Benin. And I think those were qualifiers, not the proper Nations Cup, because I was in this one on the 27th of March 2021. It was a goal scored by Paul Onuachu. Genetro was coach at the time. We went by sea through the Lagos Lagoon, Lagos Sea, and that's how we got to Port Novo, and of course played the game. Ended 1-0 in favor of Nigeria. Late goal scored by Paul Onuachu. Then we had our first major senior loss to Benin in 2024. Now, who know man, the key man. Orchestrated by a former coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Genetro, and it ended 2-1 in Abidjan. And that was the temporary home of the Benin national team. Now, we clashed again months later in a Nations Cup qualifier, and Nigeria defeated Benin 3-0. Then we played the return leg, which was again in Ivory Coast. Nigeria defeated Benin. Nigeria played a 1-0 draw against the Cheetahs of Benin Republic. What a story between the two countries, and they've clashed 19 times. Nigeria with the upper hand, obviously, 14 wins, 3 draws, and of course 2 losses for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. What do you think about this in the comment section? So superiority, complete superiority, but it's a different Benin side this time around, led by a former coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, who has orchestrated our first loss to the Benin side, and who is looking forward to snatch the automatic qualification ticket for the 2026 North America World Cup. What a way, what a story. Now, let's go away from there and go straight up into the team news. What's happening in the camp of these two teams? We'll quickly go to that and preview this particular game. So Nigeria's 2026 World Cup qualifying game has been a frustrating one, marked by missed opportunities and costly draws that have left them needing a miracle on the final day. After failing to qualify for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, losing that ticket to arch rivals Ghana, few would have imagined the Super Eagles facing the possibility of missing out on back-to-back tournaments. Since making their World Cup debut in 1994, Nigeria have never failed to qualify for consecutive editions. Heading into the last round of Group C fixtures, Eric Chelle's side sit third in 14 points from 9 games, having won 3, drawn 5 and lost 1. They have scored 11 goals and conceded 8 in what has been an inconsistent campaign. Nigeria trailed group leaders Benin by 3 points and second place South Africa by 1. So to secure an automatic spot, they must defeat Benin by at least 2 goals and hope that South Africa fail to beat Rwanda. Well, what God cannot do does not exist. If Bafana win, the Super Eagles will still need a 2-goal margin of victory to claim the playoff spot on goal difference. Chelle's men head into the fixture buoyed by a 2-1 win over Lesotho on Friday, thanks to goals from captain Trustekong and debutant Akko Adams. But their fate is now out of their hands, a situation entirely of their own making after a campaign riddled by late collapses and unenforced errors. That's the preview for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. It's not been a good tale, but this story that has seen the Super Eagles, have the number of draws that we've had, the wins that we've had, and the fact that we've also had challenges on this way. It's been turbulent and it's been a bumpy ride, and it's not been very, very that kind of qualifier as you want to see. And this time, of course, one of those challenges was the cracked windshield of the ValueJet aircraft yesterday, in Luanda, Angola. One of those things. Don't forget, about this time, October last year, they were trapped in Tripoli, the airport in Libya, and they were there for hours, sleeping on the floor, not eating, deprived of this, deprived of, internet and all that. So these players, I feel for them, in as much as, yes, we expect so much from them, they are also humans, and we know that they don't like the position they find themselves, and they need to prove that on the pitch of play tomorrow when they trade tackles against Benin. Now let's go straight up into the lair of the Cheetahs of Benin. Benin, on the other hand, are on the brink of history. Genetro's side lead the Group C with 17 points from 9 games, having won 5, drawn 2, and lost 2. They have scored 12 goals and conceded 7, with the resilient defense proving crucial to the rise. The Cheetahs defeated Rwanda 1-0 last time out, courtesy of substitute Tosin Ayegun's goal, a result that propelled them to the top of the table. That name sounds Nigerian. That's how close both countries are. Under Raw, who managed Nigeria from 2016 to 2021, Benin have become one of the surprise packages of the qualifiers, defying expectations and taking advantage of South Africa's earlier sanction for fielding an ineligible player. Raw also masterminded Benin's 2-1 victory over Nigeria in June 2024, the Super Eagles' only defeat of a campaign and their first ever loss to their West African neighbors in 8 meetings, 6 wins, 1 draw. That result adds an extra layer of intrigue to this decisive fixture. So looking at our last 6 games in all competition, we've had a loss, a win, draw, win, draw, win. Then that's for Nigeria, that's World Cup qualifying. And Benin's last World Cup qualifying, they've had win, draw, lose, win, win, win. What a way for this side. What a historic performance already by the Cheetahs of Benin. And I must say kudos must go to the technical crew, the backroom staff, and the players of the team. Now, let's look at team news. What's happening in the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria? Nigeria will be without Africa Player of the Year and Atalanta forward Ademola Lookman, who is suspended after picking up a yellow card in the win over Lesotho. Right back Olaino also remains sidelined with an injury sustained during the 1-0 draw with South Africa in the last international window. In midfield, Alex Iwobi is expected to play a key role once again. Despite mixed public opinion, the Fulham man's consistency and creativity have made him central to Nigeria's attacking transitions. Up front, Victor James Osimhen, Nigeria's top scorer in qualifying with 3 goals, will lead the line alongside Tolu Arokodare, while Moses Simon and Samuel Chukwueze are likely to operate from the flanks. At the back, Captain William Troost Ekong should partner Calvin Bassey in central defence, while Stanley Wabali continue in goal. For Benin, Steve Munir will spearhead the attack, supported by Jodel Dosu. The back four of Tanimo Owuru, Olivia Verdon, Mohamed Tijani and Johan Roche is expected to remain unchanged, while Marcel Danjinu keeps his place in goal. Well, we're not sure how the lineups will look, but basically we know what to expect. It may be an unchanged lineup from both sides. So what do you think about the team news and the preview and, of course, the head-to-head between these two countries? Plus, Nigeria's training today and the news coming all the way from the camp of the Cheetahs of Benin. What are your expectations? Do you think Nigeria can get that miracle they seek? And do you think Benin will make history by qualifying for the very first time ever? And will South Africa pick the ticket? Well, it's no longer in their hands, so they need to beat Rwanda first. But will Rwanda throw spanner in their works? Well, time will tell as we count down to the 14th of October. It will be a historic day in African football. That's it from me this wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, comment, like, and share. And I will be engaging you in the comment section as we look at, analysis, your thoughts about it. The miss of Ademola Lookman for Nigeria, will it reduce the strength of the attack of Nigeria? Or will it be an advantage to Benin? And will Benin pounce and surprise us again as they did in Abidjan some months ago? Well, that's it from me. I remain AY Sugar. I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.